When was the last time that you spent an evening or an afternoon watching a documentary? And why would anybody want to do that after all? Well, more about that in just a moment. But first, let me introduce myself. This is Non-Monogamous Mark, and I'm the co-founder and executive director for Ethical and Consensual Non-Monogamous Lifestyles Association, ECNM LA for short. And as non-monogamous Mark, I didn't always live my life as a non-monogamous individual. In fact, I was a very conservative religious dude. I was a virgin when I got married. And I was a conservative religious dude for the majority of my adult life. It was just 10 years ago that I started to open up my mind. It was about 12 years ago where I started to meet people that helped me to open up my mind. And so as I started opening up my mind, I started to stretch and exercise my mental muscle and not just blindly accept everything that I was being fed through my religion. And so tonight I'm going to tell you about talk to you about documentaries. You see, because recently I've been watching documentaries. One of the things that I like to do is to stretch and exercise your mental muscle to help you to grow and evolve and create and design a better life for yourself. You know, we focus in ACNM Lifestyles, we focus on helping you to intentionally create the sexually liberated ECNM lifestyle of your dreams, financially, with your health and fitness, with your relationships, with your love life and your sex life. And what I found is that documentaries is a great way to help you to stretch and exercise your mental muscle. And I found that they're a great way to learn new things. Learning new things, well, you know, so that when you're at work or with friends, most people, believe it or not, when they get together and they talk about things, they run out. A lot of people they run out of things to talk about, and they just really don't know how to make chatter anymore, conversation anymore. And then when they do start talking, it's just a bunch of negative garbage. You know, and maybe it's about what's going on in politics or the news or the economy. It's just a lot of negative garbage. And yet they've done studies on this and found that when people who are really thriving in their life, when they get together and talk, you know, you get a bunch of people that together that are thriving in their life and they start talking, you can hardly shut them up because they're passionate and excited about their life. And they're always learning new things. They take pride in learning new things. I mean, that's part of being passionate and excited about things, is to not get stuck and grow stale and end up just, you know, staying where you're at for a long time. I know a lot about that. I had years of being stuck. And so where you can thrive in life and be passionate about life, you need to keep new things, new information, new knowledge coming into your brain. And documentaries are a great way to do that. And so you can learn a lot of new stuff. Now, keep in mind, a lot of the things that you learn in documentaries are not, I'm going to just preface this, not a lot of things. Some of the things that you may hear or learn about in a documentary, well, this may surprise you. You know, it's like going to Google and people say, well, it's on the internet, it's got to be true. Well, that's the same thing with documentaries. You can't just assume that everything that you're going to learn and everything you're going to hear about is totally true. Like anything else, the newspaper or the evening news on TV, they all have their own slant. They all have their own perspective as well, and the perspective that you're coming from can make a big difference in shading the view or the documentary that you watch. But you know, you can learn a lot of new things. You can get a greater depth and breadth of knowledge by watching documentaries than you can from sitting around watching television. They're really entertaining. Give documentaries a chance, give them a try. In fact, I challenge you for the next 2 weeks. Instead of watching TV, instead of playing video games on the computer, instead of watching YouTube, however you end up spending your spare time and moments at home, I challenge you to go ahead and put together a 14-day plan and find as many documentaries as you would be watching daily. In other words, I don't know when right now I'm in Ventura, California with my partner that I live with in California, and next week I'll be in Seattle with my partner I live with in Seattle. Now in Seattle, I got a TV, and we'll watch TV 1 to 2 evenings a week. My partner there, Chris, and I will. But here in Ventura, Kathy and I don't even have a TV that's hooked up to TV. We do have a video screen, and we watch movies, DVDs, and things like that. And we learned recently that we can hook our computer up to that, and we can stream through the internet documentaries, and we've just had a great time watching documentaries. But there's so much depth and breadth of knowledge you have to gain by watching documentaries. Personally, I take a fascination in watching food documentaries, and if you click on that link below, where it'll link you with our site that is giving away the book I'm in the process of writing right now, then if you get on our email list, I'm going to be sending out emails once a week talking about a documentary that I've watched, and I'll do a summary of it, and I really encourage you to watch at least one documentary a week. But substitute your game time, your YouTube time, your TV time, and just for the next 2 weeks, immerse yourself in the world of documentaries. Now, where do you find these documentaries? You'll find the documentaries in Netflix. You'll find them on Amazon. If you got an Amazon Prime, Chris, my partner in Seattle, she's got an Amazon Prime, and that's how we watch documentaries. Is they're great because they're free. Watching them on Amazon Prime. And so Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime, those are 3 sources. But also in the description of this video, then I'm going to put 2 other internet-based sources that are some of the best kept secrets that I have found when it comes to watching documentaries. You got to check out these 2 links that I'm going to provide you with, and you can just find a whole new world of information. And and they provide wonderful ways that you can start conversations with people, because that's what they do. For they find that people that thrive in life, they have always got interesting things to say and talk about. Not just talking about gossip and people and news and negative stuff that just drags you down, but they actually have exciting and interesting things to talk about. And you can jumpstart your life of excitement by yourself, watching some documentaries and just taking in and watching a whole bunch of them. So then you become yourself an energetic, positive, excitable person where you've got interesting things to share and to talk about. And other people that you start talking to, they'll notice that, wow, you're not talking about the same old trash and the same old garbage anymore. That you're actually talking about stuff that's smart, and you know what you're talking about, and you seem to be intelligent, and you're not just bashing this and bashing that and talking down about everything, but your conversation is building up. Now, that's another tip I have of watching documentaries. There's a lot of documentaries out there that you can find that are just there to bring a fight out in you and help you to just be able to smash and bash and crash things. And then your life is just full of this negative energy. I don't want any of your lives full of negative energy. We build our lives. We create the best life we can possibly create by having our lives full of pure positive energy. And so if you get for watching a documentary, and that documentary is just filling you with oppression and repression and negative feelings and energy, or maybe you're not a supporter of our current presidential situation, and so you go out there and watch documentaries that are all about protest and all about what can be done and to pick up and fight the next fight that needs to be fought. Those kinds of documentaries, whether it be about politics or whether it be about religion or whether it be about any subject that you choose, they're just going to tear you down and repress and depress and suppress, and they're just going to tear you down. So when you watch a documentary, make sure that as you get into it, that it's building positive energy in your life that supports you. Then when you go out to have conversations about the things that you're knowledgeable and learning and that you want to talk to people about, you'll find that you're uplifting and you start to build people up, and you become a natural leader that way. That's a quality and a trait of many most natural leaders, is that they're not people who are terribly negative all the time, but they're positive. And they learn to be more and more positive continuously. And you can start making that shift in your own life by just watching documentaries. What kind of documentaries? Now, if you go to the places that I suggest, Netflix and Amazon or Amazon Prime, and also YouTube, and then the two links that I'm going to provide you with, you can take and put any interest that you want. You want to know, like, I'm fascinated about food topics, about our food supply, because I think it's so important, and about learning about the farmers and so forth. And so I find that there's wonderful, fascinating documentaries about that. Also, about health and fitness, and about finances, about minimalism, because, that's one of the things that I believe is one of the keys to success and happiness, is that we find that we live a minimalist lifestyle because we end up acquiring so much junk in our life that doesn't serve us. For maybe a fleeting half hour or a couple hours or a couple weeks or a couple days, it serves you. And then after a while, the luster wears off. And, just think about all the things that you bought last year, all the stuff that you bought last year, you spent good money on. And, is it still serving you? Was it well spent? Instead, there's so many more avenues for you to take and find to enjoy your life by buying less and having more life to experience, doing things and being involved with people. And so those are kind of the minimalist philosophies, and some of them. And you can catch a bunch of documentaries about minimalism on these sites as well. You can also, if you like, I'm a fan of tiny houses. Just the concept of having less stuff. And you can find documentaries now about tiny houses and tiny house living, or living in an RV. A friend of mine, he just got, literally a couple weeks ago, he just moved in from his house. He downscaled, moved in a 24-foot RV, and that's where he's going to now live. And I just think that's great, because again, he found, yes, he's an old guy, he's 50 years old, and he just found that he doesn't need all that stuff that he thought he needed all of his life. And you keep trying to have a nicer house and more space, and you just then fill more space with more stuff, and you have more stuff to talk to your friends about. It's like, that doesn't lift them up. That doesn't help them in their lives. That doesn't build their life up, just talking about all the junk that you buy, And so instead, try talking about your knowledge and your passions and your desires and your interests and the experiences that you have in your life. And so those are things that documentaries can help you to do. It keeps your brain really active when you start tuning into documentaries. So I'm going to just again and encourage you for the next 2 weeks to take and put away a lot of that other useless stuff that you do, and where you're sitting there in front of a TV or a television or a computer, and instead spend some time looking up and watching some documentaries. Make a plan as to how many documentaries you're going to watch over the next 2 weeks. And then make comments or send me a message, email me, something. Let me know what you've watched and what you liked, what you didn't like, and just kind of let me know how that went. But you find if you do it for just 2 weeks, I think you might find you're a convert and start watching more documentaries yourself. And that way you'll start to stretch and exercise your mental muscle. You'll become a smarter person. You'll become a person that is looked up to more by other people because of the knowledge and the information that you have. So thanks for watching this, and if you want to know more about Non-Monogamous Mark and ECNM Lifestyles Association, go ahead and click on that link below. And right now, yes, it takes you to a book that I'm going to be giving away for free for a couple, not very many people are going to get it for free because we're going to be selling it, but a couple of people will get it for free, so give me some feedback on it. But by going ahead and clicking that link and then giving us your email over there, you'll be able to get on our email list, and I'll be able to continue to talk to you more about documentaries, because every week or so I'll be sending out an email that'll tell you about some of the documentaries that I'm watching, expanding my own mind and thinking about as well. So thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you at the next video.